We're going to start out standing today. I'd like you to begin with your feet parallel in your normal standing width, so about hip width apart. And take a few deep breaths, just kind of coming into your body. You don't have to create a particular type of breath pattern, just observe the natural expansion and contraction of your inhale and exhale. And we'll begin with some gentle foot motions. So I'm going to have you pick up all 10 toes and then put them back down. I'm going to imitate it with my hands. So we're going to lift and then release at about that rhythm, opening and dropping. And try to keep the pad of your foot, the transverse arch, on the mat. Just lift the toes so you can feel like you're almost rooting down into the ball of the foot to pick the toes up off the ground. Now we're going to alternate between one toe lift and then put the toes down and lift your heels and drop them. Pick your toes up, drop them, lift your heels up. Now move your hand to your chest and your abdomen. Keep breathing, of course. And just sense the reflexive nature of your core. As you go through this weight shift, you're going to notice a little toning up as your body slightly stiffens to protect itself from falling forward or falling back. And it's not a lot of force, just a little bit to keep you integrated and sort of to rebound off the edge of the motion. One more time, lifting up, dropping the heels, then picking the toes up. All right, we're going to add a little movement in rhythm with your breath now. So now just ground down into your heels. And I want you to take a big breath in. Open your arms out to the sides with your palms up. When you exhale, you're going to wrap your arms around yourself like a hug and go into a small squat. As you breathe in, let your chest lift and expand. And then when you exhale, hug yourself and curl forward. As you breathe in, feel your shoulder blades glide back and down. And then as you hug yourself, feel them spread apart. Inhale, rooting down into your heels, lifting and looking up. And then exhale, curling down towards your legs. Inhale, up and open. And then one more time, exhale, folding it all in. And then just come back up to standing. All right, let's take a little side bend. I want you to reach your arm up to the ceiling. Before you stretch, root down into the foot and push that arm up to the ceiling so we're creating some initial tractioning, and you're going to keep anchored down into that leg. We're going to go into a gentle side bend. And I've got my hand here just as a marker, so I'm imagining pushing down through the leg, up and over with the arm, and then come back down. Let's do that to the other side. Push down into your foot, stretch up, feel that tractioning, take it over, and then back up. I want to do one more slow one to each side. When you go into the traction and then the side bend, I want you to feel like all the bones on this side are pressing out into the skin to enhance the stretch. And one more time. And then when we go into a slightly more rhythmic, faster version of this, see if you can still look for this lifting and not a full-on collapse down in the side bend. All right, so stance out just a touch wider. Take your arms out to the side to start. So now as you go into your side bend again, I'm going to have you also step your leg across so we get that full side bend stretch, and then back to the center. And just gentle. I want you to have the time to land it and still make this traction up and over and return. So if you don't stay on pace with me, that is fine. Let that always be how you're thinking. Never have to stay on pace with me. And then over. One more to each side. And then back up. And big side stretch, and then back up. Now open into a second position and just sit down into like half a plie. I want you to reach your arms out to the sides, turn one palm down, one palm up. Do I want you to do that? No, turn both palms down. I'm sorry. You're going to start both palms down. You're going to flip one hand up and one hand down. I realize the wrong words were coming out of my mouth. Let's just switch back and forth. Extending and flexing the wrist. Those are the real words. Okay, we're going to add a head tilt to this. Pause in your next one. You're going to tilt your head away from the hand that's pointing down, and we're just going to switch the tilt in rhythm with the hands flip it over. And I'm just lingering there long enough to feel a tractioning through my upper traps into my neck. Let's do 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Come on out of it. Okay. Now, hands behind your head. I'm going to have you weight shift to the side, and then you're going to turn towards the straight leg and flex a little. So we're kind of trying to push that side of the rib cage around and down into flexion. And then I want you to shift sides and do the same thing. So really slowly, it's going to feel like I'm doing a forward elbow circle, but I want it to be in rhythm with the stretch, not the speed of the arms. So I'm letting my weight go over, land into the leg, twist, wait for that stretch before you shift over to the other side. And let's do this for 4 and 3. And I'm never getting my head all the way up. I'm just looking down at the ground, seeing each foot, and then back to the middle. Now, let's explore that in the opposite direction. Just give yourself a second. Sometimes that can be tough vestibularly, just to your balance. Okay, go into that first side lean again. Instead of going down with it, let's try to go up. So I'm taking that elbow high and back to twist, and then I'm going to shift weight and go high and back. So I'm never looking down at the feet at all. I'm looking towards the wall in the direction of the straight leg. And I'm letting my chest go up and back to follow the circle. 6. Sit down into that hip while you're still lifting the upper body. 3 and 2 and 1. And again, back to the center. Just shake your head out a little bit. All right, now before we go down to the floor, I want to take you right into a balance challenge because we've already challenged the balance in your inner ear. So we're going to do the classic side lunge into a balance or just a toe tap if that's better. So I want you to come into a hinge forward into that same side bent knee. You're going to bring your leg in and we're going to go to arms up. So that's your tap version, or else we're coming up onto one leg. And I want you to go down to the floor and out if you're going with that. So I'm sweeping in and coming up, tapping and going out. Sweeping and lifting, tapping and out. We're going to do that 2 more times. Drop and open. 1 more time. Lifting and then back down. All right, set your stance wide again. Taking it to the other side. First that shift, nice flat back, hinging, arms wide. And I'm just going to come to tap the first time to show that. And then down. Use the tap to ground and reach up. I'm segmenting it today because it's early in the workout, but I want you to really feel that glute on the side of your hip, stabilizing the pelvis so you feel support to march that leg. And in and up. 2 more times. Wide, nice flat back lowering. In, whoo, and lift. I got stuck on the floor. 1 more time. And then in and up. All right, let's head down onto the mat, kneeling on your hands and your knees. All right, spread your fingertips apart. Make sure your hands are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips, and then press away from the floor so you know you're in a good neutral starting position. Just begin to weight shift back and forward, limiting your range to however far you can move while staying in that neutral back. Feel your sit bones nice and wide, reaching back towards the wall behind you. And do that 2 more times. Okay, now we're going to go into a circular cat stretch. So I'm going to have you round your spine, and we're going to weight shift side to side as you come through flexion and extension. So my arms are doing a push-pull as my pelvis and my head come through flexion and extension. So I'm flexing when I shift one way and extending when I shift the other way. We're going to go the other direction. So I'm going to shift the weight in extension and then flex as I come back across. So extension and flexion. The mechanics of the spinal movement shouldn't have to change, but the awareness is a little tougher, especially because you have to put a little bend in those elbows to allow your chest to sink. And 1 more time, rounding, and then coming back up. All right, now let's take let's go down onto your back, and we're going to take on a set of toe taps next. Once you're laying down, sense the placement of your pelvis, your rib cage, and your head. Those are going to be the 3 reference points we're going to use. We're going to go into an imprint. So I'm going to have you take an exhale, tilting your pelvis so your low back gets a little flatter, and your pubic bone will rock up, hip bones will sink down. Stay in that imprint and lift up one leg at a time into tabletop position. All right, now into a set of toe taps. As you exhale, lower one leg, tapping your toes on the mat, and then inhale to take your leg back up. Exhale, tap your other foot down, and inhale to lift. As you lower your leg, you want to use your exhale to keep a connection with your obliques, helping you to maintain that pelvic tilt so you're in your imprint. We're going to keep tapping the toes. After the next one, I want you to take a pause and reach both arms up to the ceiling. Now, as you tap your toe down, let's take your arms overhead. Move them only as far as you can while still maintaining imprint. Inhale, arms back up. Exhale, tap your other foot down, and inhale to lift. Exhale, reach away, and inhale up, and exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Let's do one more on each side. Tap it down, inhale up, and last time to tap, and inhale, lift. Let's lower one foot and then the other down to the mat. All right, arms still reaching up to the ceiling. You're going to put your hands together. I want you to pose your legs wider. So they're still parallel, but your feet are about as wide as the mat. And then take your arms overhead about half the distance towards the floor. Let's go into an ab prep from here. So now as you exhale, lift your arms, nod your chin, and curl your head and your shoulders off the mat till you're at the bottom of the shoulder blade. Inhale, you're going to lower back down. Keep doing it in that pattern. You're going to exhale as you flex forward, look between the knees, inhale to lower. When I'm doing this motion, at least for now, I'm trying to keep my pelvis still, and I'm feeling the movement come from the upper spine. So again, you can use the head and the rib cage as a reference point. We're curling up the upper half of the ribs, stopping right at the bottom tip of the shoulder blade. Okay, let's come up to the top again, and I want you to stay there. We're going to add some oblique rotations. So I'm going to have you exhale, turn to one side, inhale, bounce it in the center, exhale, turn to the other side. It's almost like we're making a little metronome over your knees. We go one side, back to the center, and then the other side, back to the center. One more to each side. One side, center, other side, center, lower down. Okay, let's do a second set, same thing. So you're going to exhale. I want you to curl up to the middle. Now, of course, we'll lead off to the other side. Take a breath in. Now, exhale as you rotate. Inhale, center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, first side, middle, second side, middle. One more to each side. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, center. Lower back down. All right, I'm going to use the twist for a different purpose now, but do go back to the first side. So let's come up through the center. And now I want you to just go side to side where we're bypassing your knees and we're just focusing on a slightly bigger twist. Next time you go to the first side, I want you to fall onto your side, swinging your arms overhead, and you're going to let both of your knees collapse. When you get there, I want you to just let that top knee bounce a little bit. All right, now using momentum, let's swing those knees up. Arms come around. We go back to the center, lower back down. Can we try that to the other side? Curl up and just play around. So I'm just going to go from one side to the other, one side to the other. And in this, you almost feel like you're massaging along that mid-back area. Next time you're on this side, you're going to fall to the side, let your legs collapse, arms overhead, and then you're just going to bounce a little from that outer hip. If you got a tight IT band, it's not like one magic thing releases it, but this is kind of a fun way to play with the strength of that tissue just by letting it rebound. All right, come back to the middle and then back down. Let's try that again, and then I'm going to add another part to it. So curling up, back to your first side. We go one side to the other, one side to the other. Let's do one more round of it. One side to the other. Go back to that first side. Pose it there. Now you're going to let that leg bounce a little so it can get comfortable, but just settle that bounce down and let it hang. Now take the top arm, and I want you to circle it 3 times. So we're going to reach back, letting the gaze follow around. So we do this sometimes as a modification of your spinal rotation exercise. And then once you get the arms together, ready, momentum again. Let's lead with those legs, rotate back onto your side, lower back down. Let's hit that one more time. So we're going to curl up and give that side to side play. Using that chop of your arms to help you increase the flexion. One more to each side. Now when you come back to that first side, fall to your side, swing those arms through. Get that top leg just settled, bounce it out a little bit. And then just let that reverberate and then get smaller and smaller, settle that leg. And now with your upper body, you're going to rotate, reaching your arm back, come around to your side, over to the top. And again, rotate, let your head follow, and around to the front. One more time. And then forward. Now let's swing the arms, take it back onto your back, and lower back down. All right, flip over onto your stomach. Let's go into a W position with your arms. Set your legs parallel with a little space in between the legs. I'll have you start out just a 2-breath pattern coming up into extension. You're going to take an inhale breath, start to lift your gaze, let your breath fill up your chest, rise away from the mat and press into your forearms. Exhale, you're going to lower back down. So this exercise is about a limit right now. You're going to lift up your head and your chest, stopping when there's 1 or 2 ribs on the mat, so we feel what extension of the upper back is, and exhale back down. Inhale as you open up, pulling those shoulder blades back and down to make a V, and exhale as you return. Let's add our superhero now. So you're going to inhale to come up, making this the starting position. Then as you exhale, we're going to lower into a hover, reaching your arms overhead to add more load for your abs. Inhale, lift back up. So when we lower the upper body, your upper back is keeping you floating. Your abs are making sure we stay in this nice straight alignment. Inhale to lift back up. So feel the force of your exhale. Pull those ribs down, finding that strong hover. And inhale, upper back lifts you. One more time. Exhale, take it low. And then inhale to lift. Stay up here. Now take one arm. You're going to reach it across to the other side for a side bend and back to center. And then the other side over and back to center. We're going to keep this pattern going. And if you'd like to make it a little more range of motion, you're going to add your leg stepping across to the other leg. And just like the standing side bend we did, this gives us traction through the whole side of the body. So you might feel this from your shoulder, through your waist, and your outer hip. One more to each side, reaching across, and return. Last one, and return. Lower down, sit back into shell stretch, hips onto your heels. All right, stay flexed. Take a nice big breath into your back. Hold here for an exhale, compressing your abs, releasing your neck and your shoulders. Take one more breath in. Roll back up on your exhale breath. Let's go down onto your back. We're going to do the 100. Today, I would like to do a bend and stretch with your legs in lateral rotation throughout the set. Rock into imprint and then lift up one leg at a time into tabletop position. Then you're going to turn your knees out and flex your feet. So you're in that like froggy leg position. All right, let's keep that for the start. Take a breath in. When you exhale, curl up your head and shoulders. And if your neck is sore or gets tired, you could always put your head back down. Let's bounce. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now straighten the legs for all 5 exhales. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. I meant all the counts of the exhale. And flex, 2, 3, 4, 5. And reach it out straight. That's 30. Inhale, keep energy between the heels. Point the toes as you extend the legs. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now slide those ribs down towards the hips. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and heavy shoulders as you're bouncing. Inhale. And reach away. We got 3 more to go. And exhale, press and point. 2 more sets. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale to reach. 4, 5, last 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Tuck your knees into tabletop. Lower your head back down. All right. Reach your legs out straight. We're going to go into the roll-up next. And if you can roll up with a little space between your feet, could you do that today? We're going to start out with an arm circle. So actually, I'd like you to bring your arms by your sides. Let's do the circle before you sit up. So take the arms out to the sides overhead. Now lift your arms to begin your sit-up. We're going to curl up one bone at a time. And I want you to flip your hands over so the back of the hands are together as you reach between your feet. Now lift your head and your chest. Circle the arms to the back. Press your fingertips into the ground and lift your chest and chin. So we visit a little extension here. On your exhale, you're going to round forward again towards your legs and then start to roll back down. Now circle the arms out to the side, reach overhead. Exhale, lift your arms, curl forward, put the back of your hands together, reach towards your legs. Now lift your head and chest, circle the arms, fingertips to the floor, lift your heart. Exhale, scoop those abs and curl down again. Start to roll back. Circle those arms wide and around. Lift up to the ceiling, curl forward. Back of the hands together. Inhale, circle, lift the chest. Exhale, scoop, roll it back down. Now this time, I want you to take your arms with you up to the ceiling and overhead. We're going to reverse the direction of the circle. So circle the arms as you start to curl forward. Flip those hands over again. So just get that rotation to the arms. Circle the arms around, lift your head and chest. And exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, start rolling back down. Exhale, lay out flat, take your arms overhead. Inhale, circle the arms, start to curl up. Exhale, continue rounding forward, reach towards the legs. Inhale, big circle around, lift your heart. Exhale, drop your head, round forward. Inhale, start to roll back. Lift your arms up and overhead. We're going to go up one more time, circling your arms, nod your chin, round forward. Take that nice deep stretch, back of the hands together. Inhale, circle around, lift one more time, and then come back to neutral. All right, I'm going to have you go to your side. Double stack your legs. We're going to play around with a side bend, but I want to start with just a gentle side bend first. So fingertips spread wide, even with your knees, and I'm going to have you lift your hips up and just make a side bend, and then come back down. And again, you're going to lift up and over, taking that side bend stretch, and then return. One more time. Lift up and over, and then return. All right, let's just get that evened out on the other side. I realized the pattern of the fun thing I want to do will not work like I was about to do it. All right, legs stacked up, get that hand even. Let's just stretch out the side. So we're going to go up and over, shift the weight, sliding down the shoulder, and then land back down. And so this has to, sorry, I lost my mic, side bend, and then back down. The danger of the side bend. Sometimes it turns my headset off. Side bend, and then back down. Okay, we're going to play with moving the side bend now. So for this one, we've got to create a bigger side bend shape. So I'm going to start you on this side. We're going to hook the top heel into the bottom ankle with both knees turned out. Top arm is going to rest on your side, and I want you to try to come up into this side bend. You want your hands to be even with your feet because those are the points we're going to balance on. As you lift up, slide the shoulder down, lift your hips, and make that side bend. This gives you a chance to see if you need to move your feet. If you need to adjust, make more or less space, and just try that one more time. Okay, so now we've felt both versions of it, and come back down. Now, we're going to play around with a movement that will support you in your reformer exercise of the twist. So first, you're going to come up into that side bend. Now, I want you to start to bend your knees. Come out of the side bend into a hover. Push yourself away from your arm and lift back up into your side bend again. So I'm going to come out of the side bend, almost get into the floor, glide across, and then go up and over to that side bend, shifting the weight back into my arm. 2 more times. So when you side bend, you see I'm pushing my weight over my hand. I'm coming down and pushing away from that hand, up and over one more time, and then land it back down. All right, I want you to turn through a plank, come into it, and just give me a set of heels back and forth, just a few weight shifts. 2 more. And then land it down. Now you're going to flip over to the other side. Set your feet so you've got one heel into the lower ankle. Other arm's going to be palm up. Test out the size of the side bend. We're going to go up and over, creating that shape, and then lower back down. And again, one more big rainbow. Lower back down. Okay, so you got your feet where you want them. Let's come back up into that side bend. Now start to lower your hip. Bring your arm out to the side. Push yourself away from your hand. And then extend the legs. Go back up and over to that side bend. Come out of it. Glide your way towards your feet. Push down into your feet and hands to push you up to side bend. And lower. And again, shift. Up and over. Fall. push, shift, lower down. One more time. Big rainbow up and over that arm, and come all the way back down. All right, go back into that plank. Now you're going to pike up and visit that downward dog position. Drop back down to your plank. And again, hips up, sit bones wide, shift your weight back, and lower down. We're going to do one more that way. And then I want to add articulation to it. Come back to plank. Here, lift your head and chest so you start in a slight extension. Drop your head, round your spine like you're going through a cat. And then as you visit the pike, stick your tailbone up, lift your gaze so we get the back flat again. When you roll down, tuck your tail. Squeeze your glutes, start to push your hips down. Send that wave through your body. Lift your chest and chin. Drop your head, round your spine, curl. So you're looking at your feet till you straighten your back. Now I'm looking at the floor. I'm going to tuck the tail, start to roll down. So I see my feet again as I'm flexed. See my hands, see the wall as I extend. One more time, drop your head, round your spine, looking at the feet, and then elongate. Feel that energy out the head, out the tail. Exhale, tuck your tail, curl your back, roll through, forward through plank, and lift your chest and chin. All right, drop your knees, sit back onto your heels. Sorry, I'm giggling. My hair's in my eye. My headphones are falling off. I'm hanging on by a thread. Take a nice deep breath in. Stay here for an exhale, compressing your abs. Take one more breath in, and then roll up to sitting. And just like that, you're all done. All right, I hope you have a great day. I'll see you soon.